It's Vlogmas Day 1. Yay! I'm sure you're like, oh, well, didn't I see this advent calendar last year? Yeah, I got it day after Christmas. I got this thing for like $2 after Christmas. And I've been saving it to open for Vlogmas. Will the chocolate still be good? Probably not, but it was Frankfurt, so, you know, probably not the best anyway. Best part is opening it and hoping that my cat didn't squish it. She also loves plastic, so she's gonna try and steal the plastic off of the advent calendar itself. So, not only is her butt potentially damaged some of my chocolate from before, but she may try to steal plastic. So, these are not in order, so this is gonna be fun. I've had advent calendars where they have been in orders and some that haven't. So day 1 is on Belle's face. I have no idea what to expect with these. Oh, it's Cinderella. Cinderella was on Belle, I guess. Okay, cool. So day 1 is Cinderella. Hi. So it's time to don the ears. I'm hoping you can actually see the ears, so I may have to push you back a smidge. But I'm going to be reading A Christmas Story. And this one is Robin Hood, Christmas for Everyone. Oh dear, Tiffany's messaged me. Hold that thought. Basically, I'm going to be reading Christmas stories for Christmas. Makes sense. For Sundays every day this Christmas. Oh dear Lord. I'm reading a Disney Christmas story every Sunday for Christmas, for Vlogmas this year. And today is Robin Hood. Which is, when Robin Hood and his friends settle down for a Christmas feast, they realize not everyone is fortunate as they are. So the sly fox and his buddies come up with a plan to spread festive cheer throughout Nottingham. So I'm going to pause you and see what Tiffany wanted, and then I will be right back. Okay, now hopefully you can see the ears. I checked and you didn't really get a chance to. So, story time. Robin Hood, Christmas for Everyone. On Christmas Eve, a brave fox named Robin Hood and his bear friend Little John were roasting goose and some chestnuts over an open fire. A true feast, said Friar Tuck, a badger, when he saw the goose. Sorry. We did our best, said Little John. It wasn't easy to get a bird on Christmas Eve, but good old Rob knows where to find things. Robin Hood laughed. Johnny, you give me too much credit. The goose was a Christmas gift from the Sheriff of Nottingham. He won't miss one little bird. You should see the spread he got over there. Friar Tuck shook his head. Doesn't seem right. That old sheriff gets greedier by the day. By the hour. Here's the picture. Robin Hood thought about what Friar Tuck had said. Then they sat down to dinner with Toby Turtle. Robin Hood noticed everyone looked a little down. Something's not right, said Toby Turtle. I'll be honest, I didn't remember what the turtle's name was. Robin Hood nodded. He knew that Toby was right, but he couldn't figure out what the problem was either. The goose tastes great, Toby said. It's just that I don't know what it is, Robin, Little John said. He looked sad. We got the day off to get ready for Christmas. The only thing we stole was the goose, Robin Hood cried. He couldn't believe that he had thought of all the poor people in Nottingham who didn't have anything to eat on Christmas. Here's the picture. The poor people of Nottingham don't have anything to eat, Friar Tuck asked. He felt terrible. All day he had gone around to the poorest family handing out a small purses full of coins gathered from the collection plate. He hadn't thought to bring a Christmas feast to anyone, A single tear rolled down his cheek. A Christmas feast is an important part of the festive season, said Robin. And I think I know where we can find one at this late hour. Little John smiled. Who deserves a feast the least? He said. And I think I know where this is going. He knew exactly what Robin was thinking. The Sheriff of Nottingham, Toby said. Toby, what are we doing with you? Sorry, this is grand. The sheriff set off. Not the sheriff set off. The friends set off through the forest on their sleigh. They were on their way to the sheriff's house. They knew he would have plenty of food to spare. When they reached the sheriff's home, they peered through the frosty window. Robin glanced at the sight before them. A Yule log blazed on the hearth. Sorry, my reading abilities apparently are trash today. The tree twinkled with candles and gifts were everywhere. Steam rose from all the food on the large dining table. To check the battery. The battery's great. Ooh. I'm paranoid about that battery. Look at all those gifts, all the food. I can think of a dozen families who would be grateful just for one item from that pile, Robin Hood said to Little John. I'll go to the front door and distract the sheriff. Johnny, you take the men inside, bring the feast and the presents out through the kitchen, and then load them on the sleigh. Robin disguised himself as a blind beggar and rapped on the sheriff's door. Okay. When the sheriff opened the door, Robin said, Money for a poor blind man on this wintry eve? Oh, you beggars! Can't you give it a rest? The sheriff said. It's Christmas Eve and I'm trying to eat my dinner in peace. The sheriff went to close the door, but Robin held it open. All the more reason to spare something, kind sir, Robin said. Now wait a minute there, the sheriff said. Haven't I seen that outfit somewhere before? Robin shook his head, but the sheriff lunged forward to grab the beggar and lifted his hat. Then he saw the smiling face of Robin Hood. I knew it, said the sheriff. You can't fool the good sheriff of Nottingham. Robin smiled. He had tricked the sheriff plenty of times before. He wiggled free of the sheriff's grip and ran off. There's not many more pages left. The sheriff chased Robin into Sherwood Forest. Robin laughed as he ran. He was so quick that the sheriff could hardly keep up. When Robin had put enough distance between himself and the sheriff, he climbed high into a tree. He carefully crept onto a thick branch to look out for the sheriff. He knew the evil man wouldn't give up easily. Robin heard footsteps crunching through the snow. He peered down and watched the sheriff run through the woods, calling after him. The sheriff searched for Robin, but he couldn't even find a footprint. I'll get you next time, Robin Hood, the sheriff called as he ran. Robin chuckled and slid down to the ground. He outsmarted the sheriff once again. Nope, the page is sticking to itself. That's not good. Meanwhile, Little John and the rest of the men had taken the sheriff's gifts and feast. They loaded their sleigh with brightly wrapped packages, roast turkey, and plum pudding. They even took a magnificent Christmas tree. Little John took a hold of the front of the sleigh and started to run. Robin Hood soon caught up with his friends. "There's no time to waste," he said. "The sheriff is angry. We've got to get these gifts delivered before he takes them all back." I'd be angry too. Maid Marian, a kind young fox, and her lady-in-waiting, a cheerful hen named Lady Cluck, passed by the sleigh in their carriage. "Why, Robin Hood, what a merry surprise," Marian said. As the carriage pulled to a stop, Robin Hood bowed low to the ladies. "Merry Christmas Eve to you, too, Maid Marian," he said. "What are you ladies doing out this evening?" "I've been out delivering baskets to the poor," Marian said. "There are so many in need," said Lady Cluck. "We've just run out." Robin smiled wide. "It just so happens that I was doing the same thing. Let's share these gifts with you." There's the picture. The sheriff's Christmas trimmings were safely tucked into the carriage. "See you back in Sherwood Forest," Robin called as Little John pulled up the sleigh off into the woods. He stayed to hand out food and gifts with Maid Marian. When they finished, they headed to Sherwood Forest to join Little John and the others. Robin Hood couldn't help but feel that this had been a perfect Christmas. He'd given plenty of food and good cheer to the people of Nottingham, and he had the best gift of all, spending Christmas with Maid Marian. The end. Woo. It's dinner time. Dinner time. I'm trying not to be loud because my dad's sleeping in the chair. But it's dinner time. Whoa. For all those who are curious, yes, I'm not making it up. Dad is currently napping in the chair, so, wake!